It's a beautiful day and I'm pretty excited because I'm going to be trying the Caveman. Okay, the Caveman. Let's see what we're aiming for. Standing at the top of the ramp, take a grab on the board on the toe side, get down nice and low, bend your knees, and then jump forwards. As you do so, get your front foot and your back foot on the board, land in the transition and ride away. Whew. This one is fraught with danger. I think the slam count is going to be rather large. Couple of things I foresee happening. Number one, as you jump in, you don't get your feet on the board. It seems quite scary to try and get your feet up to this position. Going to need to bend the old pelican legs to get up there. As you hit the transition, either going to go over the front, jumping in too far, or straight off the back, not jumping in far enough. So as soon as the feet hit the board and the board hits the ramp, whoo-hoo, all hell's going to break loose. I think the worst case scenario would be bailing halfway through, and also need to make sure that the feet land square on the board so that it doesn't tip and get some wheel bite. Also make sure that the front foot doesn't land on the nose, end up straight off the front. Oh my gosh. I think to start with, my strategy is going to be just to try and hop a few in on the front foot and then eventually hop both feet in. My goal today is going to be try and Caveman right out into the flat, so clear this entire transition. Without further ado, let's see how we get on. A few early attempts there. Whew, that's a bit more scary than it looks. Just starting to get a feel for getting that front foot up onto the board as the whole schmozzle is in midair. I've already done a video on the fakie foot plant, which is a similar feel of hopping the board in, but with that one, it's a tail grab and the front foot is already located on the board, ready to hop it in. So this one definitely feels like the next level in terms of commitment. Just trying to get a feel for how much hopping I need to do. At present, I'm getting both feet onto the board momentarily, but just sort of skipping out. So in these next attempts, I'm going to up my commitment level, really jump into the ramp, see if I can stay over the board and make sure I locate both feet on the board as I land. Yeah, that bit of extra commitment jumping forwards into the ramp is definitely helping me to locate my feet on the board as I land. The only slight snag is I'm now falling forwards over the front of the board. I think this is partly because my knees are not bent enough, but it's also because I'm over committing forwards for safety's sake, desperate not to loop off the back. So now I just need to inch my body weight more over the board, see if I can find the balance point. I think to do this, I may loop off the back a few times just to find out where my body weight needs to be to land squarely on the board so that I can ride it away. Yeah, as I suspected, I've overcompensated, now coming off the back of a few. Also missed my footing on one as well, which is not to be advised. Oh my gosh. That coming off the back is pretty unpleasant, but it's not the end of the world. So it's given me the confidence now to really send it in. I think I've got that balance point sorted by going too far forwards and too far backwards. So hopefully in these next few attempts, should be able to land squarely on the board and ride a few away. Yeah, managed to ride away from a few. Whew, that feels pretty exciting. Had a look at the footage, and when I'm in midair, my feet aren't actually touching the board. Everything comes down, and it's a little bit luck of the draw as to whether my feet land on the board to ride away. Need a bit more control. So what I'm going to aim for now is getting my feet in contact with the board in midair, so I come down with control of the board. I think that's going to help when I take this to a larger ramp. So I'm going to need to hold on to my grab a little bit longer and tuck my knees up in the air a little bit longer, just to get the board under the feet. And then hopefully that feet stamping down the board should keep it on the bottom, so I've got control as I land. Yeah, just starting to get a bit of front foot contact on the board prior to landing. Whew, it feels way more committed. To do it, I'm just sending the board in an upward motion so it has momentum to stick to the bottom of my front foot. That means I'm going higher in the air. So now when I land, I'm coming off because my legs are way too straight. I think to absorb the impact in these next attempts, I'm just going to experiment with bending my knees right down on the landing, and hopefully that'll absorb the impact of that higher trajectory. I'm also going to try and hold on to my grab as long as I can. There are a few moments there where I tossed the board up in the air and it sort of came off axis. I'd hate to land on the board with it on its side. Whew. Yeah, bending those knees right up on the landing is definitely helping to absorb the impact. It's slightly more committed to stay low, and it's counterintuitive because you want to try and keep your vital head and body organs away from the perceived danger. Staying low means that you get closer, but the bonus is that when you are low, there's less chance of getting bucked off forwards or backwards if you're slightly out of balance. Getting excited now. Going to see in these next attempts if I can jump straight out over the transition and try and land in the flat bottom. Yeah, going for the full-on bomb drop. Managed to get a few that were pretty far out there. In these next attempts, seeing if I can land well enough so that I can execute a trick at the other end, meaning that I can use this caveman bomb drop as the start of a run. That's it for the caveman. Whew, those were a lot of fun. Plenty of thrills and spills. Oh my gosh. The key point throughout this entire maneuver for me is to bend the knees at the top and keep the knees bent through the entire thing. Landing with super bent knees really helped me ride away. As soon as I landed with straight legs, I was either over the front or off the back, like crazy legs crane. Woohoo! Couple of things I found. Number one, throwing the board up and forwards seemed to help. It gave the board momentum upwards so it met my feet. To start with, the board was just falling straight to the ramp and I was jumping in the air and landing on the top of it, which was fine, but it's a little bit dangerous and also doesn't look that great. The caveman I was going for was the one where the board comes up in the air and the feet meet the board and then you air in. To do that one, it just felt like pushing the board up in the air and then bringing the legs up and holding onto the grab slightly longer than I thought I needed to really helped get my feet on. As soon as the feet were on, just remember to come down and keep the knees bent all the way into the transition. Coming off the back wasn't too bad, just spooned off. Coming off the front also wasn't too bad. Pretty pleased to ride away from a few with super bent knees. Also pretty pleased to clear most of the transition and get right in there. I'm looking forward to taking these to bigger ramps. I think that could take a lot more commitment and could be really exciting. Woohoo! Okay, let's run through the key points in real time. Standing on the deck, back foot on the coping. Grab the board on the toe rail just by the back wheel. Bend the knees down, bring the board up into the air, bring the front foot up onto the top of the board, hop the back foot in the air, let go of the grab, body weight forwards, keep your knees bent. As you land, bend the knees right down to absorb the impact and ride away. Let me know how you get on with these in the comments below, and if you find any novel objects to caveman off of, such as the old fire hydrant. As ever, my name's been John Bishop, and I'm a middle-aged guy learning how to skate.